is the Starseed mission to the lower astral realm, or lower astral plane of existence? The answer is it's kind of like a missionary role. You know, like if a church sends out people to go and recruit new members of the church, or the church gets really big in one location and they sponsor a minister to go to the neighboring city or the neighboring continent and introduce their religion to the indigent people that are in that other country. So the Starseed mission to the lower astral, what are Starseeds? Those are people who consider themselves to be children of the stars, like the stars that are up in the night sky, like other stars, like the sun. Children of all of the stars, the Starseed children, and they believe that they quite possibly have had other lifetimes or parallel lifetimes on planets, on other star systems. And currently, they incarnated as a human infant here on planet Earth, and but this is like their stories. So their mission to planet Earth is a lower astral. Why? Because we know from Dr. David R. Hawkins in his book Power versus Force, I think so, yeah. 1987, at the time of the harmonic, it was either a convergence or something like a harmonic convergence in 1987. You can look this up. A lot of people were meditating because it was this astrological thing. And they were meditating on raising the vibration of this planet, because this planet, before 1987, in the time of this huge group meditation, the collective consciousness of the humans on planet Earth was below 200 on the scale. In other words, it was on the downward spiral, the downward death spiral. So the Starseeds came. For example, Dolores Cannon, the hypnotist and author, said that after World War II, now remember World War II ended when the Americans dropped the atomic bombs on Japan, who was their enemy. And that ended the World War II. So at that time, the story Dolores Cannon gets from hypnotized people, they're like completely out of it, right? Except they're still conscious, but they're in like a different state of mind, hypnotized state. And Dolores Cannon got information from people when they were hypnotized. And the hypnotized people told her that after the atomic bombs, the call went out to the universe, to all people from all over our universe, that planet Earth needed help because we were calibrating under 200 on the scale of human consciousness, which is negative, which is demonic. It's literally demonic. It is negative. It is parasite on all other beings. It's parasite. It's very low vibration. Everything is done out of vengeance and pride. Revenge. Everything is about sadness and anger and grief and retribution. And I'm going to get you back for fucking me over, buddy. These attitudes. And it got to the point where after World War II, the Americans and the Russians were testing an enormous hydrogen bombs. And they were launching them way up in the atmosphere. And scientists said, we think possibly that these bombs are so big, they could blow all of the atmosphere off the planet. So these enormous megaton bombs. And then you put them in the height of differences between peoples, and you have nuclear war, face-off, and loose cannons in all kinds of countries that are willing to start a war because they're insulted because somebody didn't like the way they shave their mustache. Or maybe you were like in Cambodia with Pol Pot, who went and took over the government and took over the army and went around slaughtering people. If you wore glasses in Cambodia, you were considered to be an intellectual and you would be slaughtered because you had glasses made you look like you were more intelligent or you're interested in reading. These people wanted to bring back caveman. And they did in Cambodia's killing fields. And if you've never heard of this, you need to look that up. That shit is real because it was reported to us by like Walter Cronkite, who was the most trusted newscaster in America in like the 1970s. Does that make it real? At the time, we believed it was real. Do we think it's real now? Yes. Because horrible happens in our own environments. We meet total, horrible, demonic fucking human people in our own cities. So it's, So the whole point of this thing is that starseeds came to planet Earth to incarnate as humans because they were advanced souls. They had lived for so long and experienced so much. They were advanced souls and they had spiritual gifts. And their calibrated level of consciousness was way over 200. And they volunteered to come. And they're here now. And their mission is to planet Earth still. And where are we as far as this mission to planet Earth? That's a good question. We have many commentators on YouTube and Instagram and various other websites. They give their stories about what starseeds are doing here. Are you a starseed that just doesn't realize it? Because you can't remember anything from, a past life. Never mind, you can't remember the things like when you were 2 years old or 1 year old, 6 months. You don't have any memories of that? Well, why would I don't know. But maybe you want to adopt the idea once you hear it that you are a starseed because you think, I don't know for sure, but I think it's quite possible that I have had other past lives before this one. And given the vast number of stars that we can see with our naked eyes at nighttime, I think the probability is that there's got to be similar ways that solar systems are formed all over the universe, made of the same stuff. Same gravity all around. The whole point is, why not? Why not think it's possible that people came from other stars to help Earth? And maybe you don't know, but maybe it could be. I don't have access to the information, but quite possibly. And then you could look to see what the starseeds are doing. A lot of healing work, a lot of work on ley lines. A lot of work on channeling other beings that are not in a physical form. Maybe they're working with, there's so many different places. Now, the worst thing that could happen is if you understand that you're a starseed and then you find that you're working in an environment where you are hurting planet Earth. Because then you're going to have a huge conflict between what you're doing right now and what a starseed would do in your situation. And it might come out that, if I was a starseed and I came here to help the planet, I'm not going to be cutting down old growth forest. And that is basically what we're looking at. So we're going to remove any other talks today on anything other than you and you and you and you. Because you, who are in charge of you, nominally, mostly run by the matrix around you, have got to get a hold of a lot of information about really weird things that are real. These people maybe have heard of Wim Hof, who's been all over the internet. As an older guy, about my age, maybe older, who can do incredible things with his physical body. So if there's one Wim Hof out there, the best guess is there's plenty of other people that can do what Wim Hof can do. So it doesn't mean that your gifts are going to be the same as other people's gifts. You might look at Wim Hof and go, well, that's amazing, but there's no way in hell this body is going to do that. And that's perfectly fine, because your gifts might be in a totally different area that's maybe not using much of the physical body at all. And if you are doing some work like cutting down, or you're in a company that does process logs made from old growth forests, maybe you're going to decide, I cannot in good conscience do this work anymore, and leave the job. And then what? Well, then you're going to have to just go quietly within yourself and ask your heart of love, what will my own heart of love tell me to do in this situation? And follow your inner guidance. It's there, and you can tap into it.